and I, we met a Tuesday morning, sun high in the sky, and I felt free. You did your best and I ignored the warnings. Fair enough, I guess I didn't wanna see. I wanted an adventure, I wanted something new. I gave you half my heart and figured there is just no trust in you. Fool you, I will fool you, I will fool you.
So welcome back everybody, and in this week's video I've decided to come back up to the beautiful Lake District, and the very windy Lake District I must say today. And you've probably seen from some of the footage there in the introduction, there's been a lot of rainfall, you know, there's a few floods, a lot of sort of scattered road closures as well. Unfortunately, the area that I've come to explore today seems to have been hit pretty hard. There's a lot of uprooted trees, still pretty windy here, as you might be able to tell. And the path that I wanted to go down was completely shut off. And I mean, not even just for cars, the footpath as well. There was physically no way of getting down there, unfortunately. Now, fortunately, so far, fingers crossed, I think I've been able to find another way around. So ultimately, hopefully, I'm still going to be able to get to the location that I'd planned, which is good. Now, because we've had all this stormy weather, I've took a little bit of a risk this week. I think I'm doing something a little bit audacious. A lot of times after stormy weather, you can get some beautiful conditions for landscape photography. So still feeling pretty stormy at the minute. Doesn't really feel like it's going to let up, but I've come up in the hope that conditions start clearing around about the time of sunset. So remains to be seen. And heading up to a little bit of a fell, it's going to give us hopefully a beautiful view over one of the lakes up here. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, as you can see, I'm set up for my first shot of the day already, and it's going to be all right, I think. I've cracked out the 55 to 200 lens. I've got the circular polarizer on the front, and as you can see, I'm shooting in portrait mode, which I've been doing quite a lot more recently. I think it's, you know, since I've got my L bracket, but basically I'm trying to make something of this stormy weather, and I spotted these two sort of waterfalls coming down from these fells up there. I'm zoomed right in at 200 millimeters. Got my polarizer on the front, and all this image is about is contrast. I'm just going to adjust my composition ever so slightly. Now, it is still very windy, so I've got my 5-second self timer on, and I'm pressing the shutter button just as the wind gusts seem to die down a little bit, just to try and make sure my image is tack sharp. And like I say, it's all about contrast. So we got the contrast between the beautiful pearly white water of that waterfall, and directly behind that we've got them jet black wet rocks, which the polarizer is helping to bring out that sort of pure blackness. So we've got that black and white contrast, which is fantastic. And then on top of that, in the sort of bottom of the composition, or the rest of the composition, we've got another lovely contrast between the green of these cliffs, and then it immediately turns into that sort of grey cragginess, which is exactly where the waterfall is. So like I say, a real theme of contrast in this photograph, but one which I think's really, really good. Really nice photograph, and good use of the telephoto lens, I think, as well. So I'll pop that image up for you to see now, and I'm going to carry on up to my fell to hopefully get a sunset image. We're going to be looking over one of the lakes up here, so fingers crossed that all comes together this evening. Okay, so as I make my way up to my crag to my fell with my fingers crossed in the hope that we get a nice sunset. I wanted to stop briefly and talk to you guys very quickly about a bit of a plan that I've got for 2019, or a bit of a project really. And this year I want to piece together 12 photographs to create my very own first landscape photography calendar. So, you know, obviously on a personal level, that's really exciting for myself as a landscape photographer. You know, I've only just started printing my images, so for me it's a really big challenge, but one in which I'm really up for. I think it's wonderful as landscape photographers to have these sort of mid-term challenges. So yeah, really, really excited for that. Now, here's the thing. Firstly, since I've been, you know, really into landscape photography, I've always vlogged. You know, I've always had this YouTube channel, and so it's always been in my foresight, it's always been my plan to, whenever I decide to make a calendar, I want every single photograph to be able to be accompanied by a vlog, by a YouTube video. So, you know, adds a little bit of extra difficulty to the whole project, but like I say, I'm really up for it, and I wouldn't really want to do it any other way, to be honest. Now, secondly, for January, I think I've already got my image. We're in February now, but I really love my photograph that I got on the Isle of Mull, and for me it depicts the January that I had really, really well. You know, grey skies, really, really moody weather, and I just so happened to be in a wonderful location, so I'm delighted with that image, you know, to use for January for my calendar. Now, February and March for me 100% need to have snow in them, and I haven't really been in a landscape yet where there's been a lot of snow. I kind of came up here to the Lake District today half with the idea, hoping there was going to be a bit of snow on some of the fells. It's not looking too good. There's a few dustings of snow, but when I get to the top of this fell today, at the peak, I'm going to be greeted by Helvellyn, which is a lot higher than all these other fells. So fingers crossed, I'm hoping that's going to have at least a bit of a dusting of snow. It's going to give me a chance to perhaps use this image tonight, you know, all going well, as my February image. But if not, I've got hopefully one or two plans to go up to Scotland. So hopefully, you know, if things don't go well this evening, I'll maybe manage to get a February shot up there. But yeah, without going on too much, that's my plan for 2019 really, and I'd love for you guys to share this adventure, share this journey with me throughout the year. It's going to be difficult, like I said, it's going to be a hell of a challenge. You know, even on a good year, calendar aside, if you manage to get 12 decent print-worthy photographs, things are going well. So it's going to be hard, but I'm up for it, and we'll see how it goes. For now, I'm going to head on up to my fell and see how Helvellyn looks. Let's go. So I made it to the top of my crag. Look over the left shoulder there, absolutely gorgeous. And I've decided, get my camera out. 55 to 200 lens, hang on a minute. And I'm getting a picture, bearing in mind we've got all this beautiful scenery around us. I've zoomed in on my car, the little red one there. How about that? No, I'm just messing about. It is my car though. Stunning, beautiful, absolutely amazing. Just exceeded my expectations, gorgeous vantage point. Another bonus as well is wind's coming from that way and we're completely sheltered by it from all these trees and the surrounding fells off in the background. It's just ideal, makes the experience a whole lot better of course. Now, gorgeous vantage point. I don't necessarily want to get the wide angle out and shoot you know, a big wide vista here, but I don't know, I think it might work in this situation. It really is a beautiful scene, but I've got 2 hours till the sunset I think, and I've driven all the way up here, so I'm going to stick it out. And it really feels like one of those days where the light is super changeable, so I think fingers crossed, you know, it could be worth the wait, but we'll see. But I'm going to pretty much spend the next 2 hours or hour and a half just enjoying the landscape, looking around, you know, really thinking about composition rather than just getting that wide angle on 11mm and shooting it all, just in case I find something better, and, you know, just try and connect a little bit more with the landscape and just see if that helps with my composition ultimately. So like I say, we'll see, but yeah, for now, a bit of hanging about. Beautiful location, what a vantage point. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of precipitation. It seems to be a bit of a sleet or frozen rain or something, but waterproof pants over the top. I usually have like a shower cap or something, but couldn't find it in my bag, so I had to use them. But obviously still did the trick. And we are about 40 minutes till sunset and things aren't looking too good, to be honest. Obviously the view is beautiful and I'm really happy with my composition, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get much of a sunset. It's too much cloud cover, a lot of cloud cover to the west, obviously where the sun's going to be setting, and it's forecast to just get worse throughout the next sort of 3 or 4 hours. So like I say, it doesn't look really like things are going to pick up, but I've took a few shots. It's not so nice now, but earlier on we were getting a few breaks of light right down at the end of Stormy, and it just really helped give the image a little bit of pop. So I think it's a pretty strong composition, but we just didn't really have the light, to be honest. Now I want to talk you through this because I think it's quite interesting. Like I said earlier, I wanted to spend a little bit of time here just trying to connect with the landscape a little bit more, and how I didn't want to shoot wide. In the end, you know, I did have a real good think about it, and I felt that it was just set up to take a wide angle shot. And the reason is because right from the left of the frame, pretty much to almost the sort of right centre, we are getting all sort of the right third, we are getting Stormy, we're getting the lake all the way through, and it just snakes through the composition beautifully. So it starts in the bottom left hand side of the frame, and it just slithers its way through this valley. And the lake itself, I suppose, is the main subject of the photograph, but it's also the sort of leading line throughout the whole image. You know, it helps to guide the eye all the way through this valley, and thus, you know, through the image. It's just ideal. And then right at the end of Stormy, and not at the minute, but earlier on, we were getting some beautiful light, just as the sort of valley slopes down, you know. So it worked quite well. Settings weren't massively important. ISO 100 f10, 1/8 of a second. That was changing as the light was changing and stuff. But yeah, strong composition. I'd have liked a bit more light. Unfortunately, with reference to what I was saying earlier about the calendar shot, there's not enough snow up there on Helvellyn for me to want to use this as, you know, a snow image for February. So that'll have to wait till later on in February, I suppose, if I even get the chance to take that sort of shot. But yeah, fingers crossed. But anyway, nice shot. I'll pop that one up now. I really hope you like it, and still not really decided whether or not I'm going to stick around for sunset just yet. But yeah, I hope you like this shot. Alright, so hope you like that shot. We didn't really get the light that we probably would have hoped for. I think the composition was quite strong. Hope you know, liked my description of that. I thought it worked quite well. beautiful vantage point and another wonderful adventure. I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to abandon ship. It's too much cloud cover and it's just getting worse, so there was no point in staying up there for another sort of 40 minutes. But I really hope you've enjoyed this adventure. I certainly have, and it's always a pleasure to be back up here in the Lake District. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and I shall see you next week on the next adventure. Out.